Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds, hang out with these nerds.
Hit the Nerdarch.
Nerdarch is dead.
And it's time to do the thing.
It's Saturday, woohoo!
In theory, it looks like we got a green light. Although, I have not opened up the thing.
Well, we got a couple people in chat so far.
Woohoo! That's always good.
One of which is me.
That's always promising. I could have sworn someone else said something there.
Yeah. Raven said good day first, and then we had,
Australia
Ben.
in the house, huh?
Indeed.
Well, you could just say good day. Just like saying howdy. I'm not from Texas, but I say howdy.
Well, I think as it stands, I think there's only a couple of people watching right now, and we're most of them. Alrighty, well, I guess we're going home.
Look at that. See,
it's no longer freezing outside.
Just boom. They just start coming in.
Yeah.
It's no longer.
Well,
freezing
I'm
outside,
looking at where it says watching.
We got our West Coasters over there.
I'm making noise. It's updating. All right. We've got at least like 20 people now. I guess we can start. Otherwise, I'm like, screw you guys. I'm going home.
I could say that, but I don't have to go anywhere.
He just, like, walks that way.
No, it doesn't mean like, screw you guys. I'm going home, and he just sits there. So it is the third Saturday of the month. There's things going on. This is when we usually play my game, so we're going to be doing that tonight. I should probably make some material or something at some point. Me and Ted have been shooting some videos. We had a video scare recently.
Oh man, this was a problem. So the fun and the joy in the life of
YouTube creators.
YouTube creators. Even though we've gone down to 5 regular videos a week, we're still filming both Friday and Saturday. It kind of draws things out a little bit. We get to get the creative juices flowing, as opposed to just let's jam pack it all into one day like we had done previously. So we record, we put the stuff on a memory card. I hand it to Dave. I have things that I have to do. He has things that he has to do. And I, watch him walk down the driveway to his car, and he drives off home.
Why are you watching me, man? It's kind of creepy.
I happen to be in the living room.
Just creepy silent music, like low level music.
Yeah.
Looking through the windows.
I happen to be in the living room talking to my children, and I saw you walk down the drive. I wasn't sitting there watching you. I happened to notice you. Whatever. So I get this phone call, from Dave, I didn't leave the memory card there, did I? Hours of searching, both, his car, my house, the driveway. He walks up and down the path at his place. Can't find it. Hours worth of time lost. The memory card itself. I was not waking up to a good day knowing I was going to have to reshoot all the things we shot yesterday.
Yeah, so definitely, the difference between real life and D&D, at least in D&D, when you roll a bad check, you rolled a bad check. In real life, you just don't know if it was a bad check or it's just not there. Are we we just failing our investigate check over and over again, or have we passed it and there's just nothing to find?
So he sent his kids to looking. I sent my kids to looking, all to no avail. I'm packing up the table because I didn't turn on Facebook this morning, and I had no clue that we're still gaming here. We were going to be gaming elsewhere. And all of a sudden, a memory card just comes flying across my field of vision, landing into my pile of dice. Dave found the card outside my place.
Yay! The peasants rejoiced. The peasants rejoiced.
And what do you look like? Three or four times there in that
did.
area.
I looked, up and down my driveway. I looked up and down the street, knowing where he parked. I'm like, well, maybe it, landed in the street and it got, blown by the wind or kicked by something, touched by something, and it slid further down.
Squirrel.
To be honest with you, I got out of my car. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to retrace my steps. And I did, and I looked, and I was like, oh, that's it right there. It's almost like in a video game where the thing is glowing. I'm like, okay.
Ooh, there's an outline around that
But
thing.
that being said, in all fairness, it's not like... I was going to retrace my steps inside, too, because Ted... It's different for someone trying to remember what someone else did or guess what someone else did compared to, just doing the thing that you did. But, it was good. We found it, so now... less work to do.
So as opposed to trying to do 6 or 7 videos, it's like, oh, we need to do 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Then it's really aggravating to reshoot a video because you're like, I already did this work.
Yes.
And I already said what I wanted to say and the way I wanted to say it.
You know, we've had times where we've done reshoots and we don't think they were as good as what we originally did. And there's times we've done reshoots where, because we're doing it a second time, we feel that, you know, it came out better. So it's a crapshoot.
Zubalin, have you all considered getting a backup drive? We use one for lab work and it saves our butts. Yeah, like that. So that's the other thing is like we use Dropbox for a lot of things, and it's like, you know, maybe we should just upload them to Dropbox from here or something.
Well, I think the last time, you know, you had to do something like that, it took like 4 hours.
Well, that's the other thing too. Yeah, Ted's internet sucks for uploading. It's totally awful. It's why I won't switch to Comcast, is because like I was at Best Buy picking up one of those broadcasters for your TV, the Google Cast, and he's trying to sell me on it, and like as soon like it would save me like $100 a month, but as soon as he got to the upload speed, I'm like, I am a streamer, I need upload speed, and that tiny bit that you're giving sucks. And then someone else told me you can get more out of Comcast, but you actually have to call them and bitch at them, and then they will stop throttling you a little bit.
Make my internet faster.
Yeah, bastards. Actually, we should just give the one guy in the chat shit about that every time we see him. Talk to him.
Yes, we know one of our fans out there works at Comcast. And
therefore, it's your fault. But in all fairness, whenever there was a problem with anything with the mail, I was like, I have to give my father-in-law shit because he works there. Worked, yeah. It's like the military. Once you're in, you're always in.
You know, we've got Dave's game tonight, and I'm going to kind of reach out to you guys. For those of you who actually watch our gameplays, Relion is now 16th level, and I'm at that point where...
They haven't watched your gameplays in quite some time.
Well,
the new ones anyway.
Well, yes, well...
He's still alive.
He's still alive, 16th level, and I'm somewhat torn. Relion is a cleric. I'm going to loosely say human. But he's very dedicated to knowledge. You know, God he worshipped is Quenthel, you know, deity of knowledge and magic and secrets and what have you. And I have a 16 intelligence and a 16 wisdom. Do I go for the better skill rolls, which make me better at knowing things, and thus better able to serve my deity? Or do I go with the higher wisdom, which will give me, you know, better perception, better insight, and higher spell DCs? So I want you guys to let me know. What do you think?
I think it's a no-brainer. One in each.
You are absolutely correct. That decision is a no-brainer.
Wisdom for DC, Nerdarchy Doug says.
And you plus the hit for spell attacks.
Yeah, but I'm kind of...
And healing. +1 for healing.
That is true.
I mean, not that really matters when you're that level. You're like, heal or mass heal, and there I'm done. Didn't have to use my wisdom at all. But you have to see people for that. Mass heal.
Yeah.
Very important to know what you can and cannot cast if you are blinded or cannot see.
Yeah, I kind of, you know, messed around with these guys last week with darkness.
There was a little bit of that going on.
It was nice to take a 17th level party and have them somewhat humbled by some monsters.
Yeah, and I found out that with Spirit Guardians, if you cannot see the people you want to exclude, I guess
you can't
be like, spirits, don't kill that person or that person or that person. You're like, don't kill my friends. You're like, who's your friends? All these people, we're just going to eat them. Radiant damage.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun. You know, these guys said that it was nice to have a challenge and what have you, but you know, it's not something you'd want to do all the time.
Every session,
definitely not.
Too many sessions of that, and then you're gonna have a mutiny on your hands, I think.
But I mean, to have every once in a while to have as something that's like, oh, I can mark that off the books. It was interesting, you know. Mark's character did an action surge, and at that level, that's like 4 attacks. Action surge becomes 8, and he hit like twice. So I was like, yeah, that felt good. That felt real good as a DM to be like, all right, you're making 8 attacks with disadvantage. That missed, that missed, that missed, that missed.
Too bad I didn't have Fairy Fire prepared.
Dun, dun, dun. That wouldn't have helped.
It's in the area. It's everyone in the area.
It is, but only if it
You have to
overcomes.
see them.
Only if you can overcome the darkness with
It won't overcome darkness. You're right.
it. You got 2 votes for wisdom.
Okay, 2 votes for wisdom. Any votes for intelligence?
No, you just got 2 votes.
Okay. Wow.
I'm going to vote for wisdom as well. I mean,
That is
I
the
can't
one
pick
that
the
makes
silly
sense.
one. But you're really into knowledge and learning and things like that. So
I mean,
the intelligence does make sense for...
My expertise is in Arcana and History.
Yeah, and those
And
are...
Investigation. But I got that somewhere extra. So, like, those things just amplify my already decent intelligence. So
You can just gain it from being old later. Don't worry about it.
we don't get those anymore.
I'm sure someone will give them to you.
That's another edition.
Another 400 years or something.
I won't live 400 years.
Well, you'll get them then.
So we are on episode 69.
Yeah, we've been doing this for that long.
Yeah, it's 69 weeks, of Quest of the Adventures. I think we've missed one
We did.
in the whole time that we've been doing it. When we were at Concoction.
Mm-hmm.
We were like, we're kind of on vacation.
Well, it's a work
It's a different type of work when you go to a convention.
And we couldn't even have, Nerdarchy Doug fill in because he was on workation with us.
That is true. Although we did do it from the cruise.
We did.
Mm-hmm.
We've had it happen at some live places. I don't know if we did it from Origins or if you guys did it while we were at Origins. And then Gen Con was definitely a thing as well.
I think you did it from Gen Con. Nate and I handled it while you were at Origins.
Yeah. So you guys might be wondering about the title for today's video, Planning a Trip to the Feywilde. Although it won't technically be the Feywilde. It'll be our fairy realm or fey realm.
Didn't we come up with some name for that?
I don't know that we did. I mean, we had been working on we were kicking around some ideas for our plane in shadow.
That's true.
And I think we settle on for now. We have to run it by Nate still.
It's Endless Night.
The Endless Night.
Ooh.
I think we gave
Either that or
chills.
Either that or Empty Night. I like Empty Night as well.
The Empty Night. But yeah, so
because it would be like the sky without stars. So
it would be the sky without stars.
So the idea is, especially as we're progressing more into doing a lot of products, there's things that we want to be able to do, but we can't touch the Wizard's IP. So we're going to keep trying to come up with these things. Like, we don't have the Underdark, we have the Beneath, and that adds just flavor to our world. I think lots of places call it Underdark.
We had also come up with a different version of our Dark Elves before, and we've just kind of been lazy about not using them, and when other people want to play a drow, being like, well,
not
use
using
this
the lore.
instead.
Yeah,
but we've kind of done more of a Seelie and Unseelie thing that we just haven't put down anywheres and really mapped out. But I think our Dark Elves are actually going to be very pale in color and hair as well, and they might have gold or silver eyes, but they live on the surface, and we'll probably keep all the drow abilities and just give them light sensitivity because they're just cursed to walk at night, as opposed to being creatures of the Underdark.
Right.
But I mean, we still have to hammer out, I guess, the details. We've talked about it before.
we have a video on it. We just need to rewatch it again.
Yeah, I've always loved the idea of, planes that kind of overlap each other, like the Feywilde and the Shadowfell, and we've done those previously in the past. We had, I think way back in third, if not second edition, we did have an Elven Kingdom for our Fey Elves that was like that, and people that were really sensitive to magic would sometimes see ghosts when they would go in a certain enchanted wood, but they weren't seeing ghosts. What they were doing is they were able to peel the veil between worlds and see to the other place. Just glimpses though.
Right.
So we definitely want to do more with that stuff. And so this month coming up, if you're if you happen to be a patron as of the 1st when the cards get charged, the reward that we are doing is based off a video we did a while back. And it was like Fey Gangsters or
Bandits in the Feywilde, something to that extent.
Well, that was our working title. The actual title had something to do with Fey Gangsters. And we created this idea of this Oni that would steal the essence and dreams of other people.
Dreams and memories.
Yeah, dreams and memories. And he was turning it into a drug. Well, that is this month's patron award. It's done by Sean McGovern, did a great job of it. And there's a lot of stuff that gets packed into that.
So, going forward, as we've discussed several times, like the whole plan is, we do a video on it and we talk about our ideas. That gets, sent off to somebody else who can put our ideas together and be inspired by our ideas and make, something truly awesome. And whatever we get back, that gets portioned up into the different reward tiers. And if you get the top, the Lost Lore, then you're going to get everything that's created. You're going to get the artwork that goes along with it. Nerdarchy Doug is, putting together, a really sweet package.
He says he's literally working on it right now while he's listening.
If you actually go over to our store, you can download for free the Infusing,
Curator of Souls,
and you'll be able to see that is the kind of content that you would be getting monthly at the $10 rate.
Yeah,
it also includes the rates for the other tiers below 10.
Yeah, so I meant to put that in the description, but it did not make it there. It is in last week's description.
I can grab it over.
Yeah, so you guys can download that for free, check it out, and see what we're doing over there. But it's actually, for us, it's a lot of fun to to see what someone else does with our ideas. And we're probably going to cycle out and use different writers, people that we like what they're doing. Although it is hard to go away from Sean, I'm a little addicted to him because he gives us so much extra stuff. So at that top tier, you're going to actually get a lot more because, frankly, I just don't think the guy can stop writing. Once he gets the bug for something. So what are we looking at for this coming month?
All right, so for the Mage Forge, you're going to get the Dream Essence as well as. Do you remember what the acorn is called?
I do not, because I read it the other day again.
Blah, blah, blah,
so the one item is
the Hall of Dark Arbor.
Yes, that's it. That you said, absolutely remember that.
And that thing is really cool. And I'm not going to tell you anything more than that. Your monster menagerie is the Onibara. And that's a re-envisioning from, well, actually all of this is a re-envisioning from that video. But it's a really cool monster, and I was happy to see where, how that came out. Friend or Foe is Moaj, the Ogre Mage. The Terrible Terrain is the Onibara Ambush, and the Lost Lore is the Lord of Dead Dreams.
Sweet. So, so guys, you can go check that out. If you are a patron as of the 1st, you guys will get that. And we are excited for the new direction.
I hope you guys are as well. But, I mean, you can see there's a lot of content here. I don't know how well how many pages it's going to shape up once Nerdarchy Doug has, gone in there and restylized it all. But, it's going to be a lot.
We also have a question in there. Someone, let's see, Ian Trout, introducing new PC tonight. Should I drop her in like she's always been there? It really just depends what you have going on, how easy it is. Is actually the truth of the matter.
It is much better for the flow of everyone's enjoyment to just, pick up and find an easy way to get them in than to wait 45 minutes, 2 hours, what have you.
3 hours sometimes.
3 hours to find a perfect way to, I've crafted this exact encounter to drop you in there. And, oh, well, what happens if the players don't go there? You know, it just stinks for that character.
Yeah, I'm always trying to get them in as quick as possible within the first 10 to 15 minutes of the session. And even if you got to do something ridiculous and a little implausible, and don't get trapped in the, I have to have an explanation for how this thing happened. Like, I see this all the time with GMs, and they feel like they mechanically have to figure everything out. But that's the good part about being a GM. You can narratively figure something out, and you don't even have to completely figure it out. In the instance of dropping a player in, they could get teleported in for some reason. They could be, they could be trapped and released from something. And some of it's going to depend on what kind of story they come up with or whatever. But for the most part, don't agonize over all the details. Just make a note of it, and if they want to explore it later, they can. And maybe they'll have their own ideas and their own hypotheses of what happened and jot those down too, because you might want to use them. Whenever the players do the work, let them.
Yeah. When players do work for you, it makes your job that much easier.
A good example of that was last night. I played in a game and we had a new player come in, and he was playing a pit fighter gladiator style person, and we had just been spanked by a dragon. So we were all licking our wounds at the tavern. And we're like, we need some more muscle. How about that guy over there? I recognize him from the fights. He's a good strong arm there. And then that was it. So because we all kind of collaborated with how we were going to get him in there as fast as humanly possible.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we're telling a story, but it's still a game, right?
Yeah.
So make the story say what you need to make the game fun for everybody.
Yeah, and sometimes you can think about it as a challenge, how you can get a person in a reasonable amount of time and have it be seem like more seamless or a story through it. But don't agonize over it, because in the end, you got a person sitting out just waiting for something to happen that they can interact with.
So it looks like they're talking about their own game stuff as well in here, for sure.
So if you guys have any questions or anything for us, you guys know, throw it in the chat, put question or put at Nerdarchy or
something, make it easy to pick it out. Question usually works really well as well. So one of the other things, one of the videos we shot yesterday is we're starting to take a look at iconic Dungeons and Dragons monsters that we really love and enjoyed for decades now, for the most part. And we want to use, but because we're doing our own stuff, you can't use them. So we're trying to see how we can reimagine them and re-envision them, and kind of pay homage to them without just blatantly ripping them off, and make new interesting monsters conceptually from those seeds.
And Dave's got some really fabulous ideas that we did the video on, and usually these kind of things, we describe, or we do a meeting every week to try and figure out what we're going to film this week. And Dave rolled up yesterday and was like, I got an idea. I was like, all right, we're going to shoot a video on that. And that was pretty badass.
Yeah. Then we probably lost the video and a couple others.
So I was very thankful that we didn't have to reshoot that when Dave found it. And everything looks good. So
It was inspired, and you don't think you could replicate that?
I could have, but I can't replicate the passion of the new information. The first time you're hearing it and discussing it.
So Jinker GM question: starting a new campaign with my own world. Any tips on filling out my world with flavor? Well, that's a really broad topic. It depends.
They
usually Kool-Aid packets.
They usually come in the packets, and you can just sprinkle it.
Yeah, flavor shakers.
Well, it just depends on what you're looking to get out of the game in the world. What are you trying to do? I mean, my tips would probably be, come up with a theme first, and from that theme, then you can kind of start filling out the world. And, you might want to say, well, how is this like generic fantasy, and how is this not like generic fantasy, and kind of work from there. But I always recommend starting small and building out.
Right.
And if you have a lot of ideas for other places that you're not going to use right away, I recommend write a sentence or two about them and put that somewhere so that you don't lose it. But I wouldn't spend a lot of time working on that. Personally, I try to work on whatever it is I'm going to need in the near future and my players are going to use. So, and leave open spaces for their players to fill stuff in.
So, you know, the thing is, if you're going to create your own world, how is your world unique? Why does somebody want to play in your world versus Forgotten Realms, Ravenloft, Eberron, what have you? These are things that are going to make your world stand out. And if you've got something that can stand on its own two legs and keep drawing people in, all right, then you've got something to work with. As Dave says, you know, you've got that theme, expand upon it, expound upon it, and, you know, build the pieces you need, build areas that you want to send your players to, and, you know, work on the fly, work, you know, away from the table, whatever works best for you, and, you know, you'll build it up as you go.
Also, someone pointed out that world building and monster mashups are a great source. I don't know what they're talking about, though.
Thanks, Aaron Parks. That's the nightly shows that we do sometimes here on Nerdarchy. We jibber jabber about different monsters we're making, and as well as sometimes Ulfgenia and other things as well.
More specifically, Nate and Kienata do that.
Yes, that's
is that
true.
How you say his name? I'm proud.
Kienata.
Kienata.
It's kind of like Canada, but not.
Kienata.
Yeah, Canada.
Okay, so I have to say it with a Canadian accent, then I'll get it right. Like, no one talks like that ever. Silence him.
Yeah. As far as world building and things, I mean, you're not in competition with trying to gather people to you rather than be like, oh, you're not playing Forgotten Realms, I don't want to play. No, I mean, you know, well, do you want someone to GM? Because I'm GMing, so we can either play the game I made or you can find somebody for one of those other things. So it's not like you're in competition necessarily with those, but with what you were saying, Ted, the idea that you're, you know, crafting something just a little bit to the right or the left of something else. So it's not just like a rehash of something. But I mean, I've played in pretty much generic D&D before, and I didn't have anybody be like, this is too much like Forgotten Realms. So
Parks Kienata sounds like you want to hit him until candy pops out. I kind of do now.
Oh man,
that is so funny.
Pinata.
Yeah, Kienata. Now I completely don't know how to say his name again.
Kienata. I almost forgot how to. Kienata.
No, it's the other way forever now. Because now all I can do is think about hitting him until candy pops out.
All right, well, then that's going to be your next monster mashup.
It might be.
The Pinata Golem.
Jinker says, I'm actually counting on my players for flavor a lot, which is helpful.
Yeah.
I mean, too, like, you might want to do session 0 and, you know, kind of like talk to your players about their characters and what they want to do, and you can incorporate a little bit of world building from whatever input they give you about their characters. And this way, so whatever the starting pieces you use, it's kind of already tied to the players in the game, and it'll then make it easier for you to get them to take your hooks and for you to build hooks and stories and plots and, you know, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I didn't have nomadic elves in my section until someone asked me to play a nomadic elf. And I was like, wild elf? Yes. We'll just say they're wood elves, but they're wild elves.
Woody wild elves.
They don't live in towns and stuff in the woods. They move their towns around. There, wild elves. Done. So until the player asked to play something like that, I didn't put that in.
I don't know if any of you guys caught it yesterday. Ted made an appearance along with the rest of the cast from...
some of the cast.
Well, yeah, some of the cast. It depends on which show. I guess it depends. Oh, yeah, Will wasn't there either.
No, it was...
Some of the cast. Was Pruitt there? No, Pruitt was probably working.
No, it was Jim and Cody.
Yeah. From some people from Saver Dice and Taking 20.
Went over to Fantasy Grounds. They did their Fantasy Grounds Fridays. And, you know, they literally said that, you know, they're taking the nod from, you know, our daily live chat, you know, with that Dave does, And he's like, I think it's cool. I'm gonna, interview, cool people doing stuff, in the niche, in the industry. And, he had on, people from Saber Dice. So it was Jim from WebDM, Cody from Taking 20, and then myself from, here.
Yeah, so I know there was one with Satine Phoenix so far. There was one with Will Jones so far, and then there was some of the cast from Saber Dice that happened yesterday. I don't know how many there are into that. So I imagine you're going to be able to catch the replays over on YouTube. That seems to be what everyone does on Twitch. Is Twitch stream it live and then it goes on YouTube after that to archive it. What's it stay over on Twitch for like 30 days?
It's not like forever, from what I understand. Or
So it'll still be there. Like it's still there.
You build
now.
up a bank, and then you can download it and move it over, or you can have it auto do it. So yeah, there's ways of getting it from Twitch.
Or you can have it vanish forever.
Or you can have it like a
pixie
live
dust.
broadcast, never to be seen again.
Disappear into the ether.
So there's that, and I will be appearing on a new GM roundtable show that is popping up alongside. Who else is on there? Jim Davis is going to be on there. Guys everywhere is now. Sydney from Encounter Roleplay will be on there. Sydney Shields. And Nate from WASD20 is the one going to be hosting it, and he's doing it. So I think it's just the four of us. And hopefully I'm not missing anybody. I will double check and make sure I'm not missing him, but I also know we have some questions in the chat here as well. Aaron Parks, how do you feel about spending a half hour or so playing each player's backstory? I kind of hate it personally.
I'm not really into that.
I would rather do narration, even if it's just back and forth narration during like session 0. I wouldn't want to be rolling dice and stuff like that because his backstory, it already happened. So that's like not part of the game in a sense, except that it's a formation of what your character is currently.
If you're looking to do that, that shouldn't be done at the table with everybody else. That should be done, individually. And
I will word that a little bit differently than that. You should find out how the players feel about it. If no one cares and they all want to do it, and even no matter what they want to do, it's your game. You can play it however you want. It's entirely up to you. I won't tell you what you should or shouldn't do. But in my game, I wouldn't want to do it. I don't want people sitting around, watching other people kind of like play the game. If you have 5-6 people and each one of them takes a half hour, 6 people, that's 3 hours. So it's like, can I just show up when it's my turn?
And I can see part of the experience being, witnessing that kind of interaction with everybody, but at the same time, you're going to have plenty of time where other people are going to be role-playing and doing stuff that you're like, they went and bought stuff and I didn't, so I'm just going to be sitting here waiting for them to come back.
Right.
Yeah, so it just depends on, like I said, that's a good discussion to have in session 0. If you guys, how they feel about that.
What else you got? You said there were several questions.
There's always several questions. Although I see them or not. No, one just popped up. What kind of places would you include in Feywilde adventures that aren't forest-based? I want to surprise my players on their next visit there. Well, so my players went to a tailor shop in the city. They went to a poetry slam in the park in the city. They went to a party.
A poetry slam?
Hey, man, these things happen. And, what is his name? My NPC, I can't remember his name. It's like, it was a satyr, saying poetry, and he had all these dudes and dudettes fawning over him while he was doing his poetry slam. And
fawning over him?
Actual fawns fawning over him?
There might have been some actual fawns. But he then left the Feywilde with the Scarlet Sisterhood, and he's now working on courting Kenna.
Oh, wow, nice.
Why, I don't recall his name.
It's like Fenris or something like that.
That sounds cool.
I have it written down someplace.
One of his many places that he does DM notes.
Yeah, they're scrawled all over the place. Like, why is this written upside down? Doesn't even make any sense.
I would think places where strange magic's happening, like if you've got like maybe a wasteland with like mercury pools instead of regular water and weird reflections happening and shadows, and just I would go with weird descriptions that might have, you know, adverse magical effects or beneficial magical effects in the area. I mean, that kind of alter the magic physics of what's going on in the area.
I mean, it's the Feywilde. You know, it's where nature is, you know, more dominant than civilization. So I would say you could put anything you want there. You want mountains, you want swamps. Yeah, go ahead, do it. It's totally possible. And in the end, you're the DM. So just do it.
I think my Feywilde, first of all, like the Feywilde overlaps the real world, so anything that happens there can technically be in the Feywilde. Like that, I think in 4th edition, like that was the whole thing with Fomorians. Like they came from the Underdark of the Feywilde. So, which I think they changed the lore a little bit going into 5e. So and my first, when my players came, like they were seeking to go to an actual like marsh or swamp, so which was in the Feywilde. So there was that, and I also did the sequence of they just called it the Between, and it was them trying to travel from our world to the Feywilde, but they had these like tasks that they had to overcome first. And one of them was like not getting stuck and trapped in a party forever.
The Forever Fate party.
So how do you feel about players with effectively no backstory at all, such as, oh, I have amnesia, I don't even know my name? Do the fun story elements come from what you want written in? I mean, there's a lot of different ways to look at that. If you have the character who, oh, I play amnesia because, and he does it all the time because he doesn't want to write a backstory, well, that's kind of just, you know,
cliche. It gets old after a while.
Yeah. But if you have like someone who's, you know, seriously like, oh, I have amnesia, I want you to do this or I want you to do that. Would you be willing as a DM to come up with these cool stories? Like there's a lot of cool ways that you can do stuff like that and have it worked in and have it come up. You can do the I have amnesia and write a backstory and say, well, here's the beginning. You fill in the rest, or would you be willing to fill in the rest? And the great things can happen from that. We found out in the episode last Thursday, not 2 days ago, but 9 days ago, that, you know, Molly Mock's character in Critical Role only knows the last, you know, couple of years. Everything before that, he just doesn't have. And stuff came out, and it's like, I don't know who that person is that you're referencing, and I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, so, you know, depending on how you want it to work, there's like Ted said, there's nothing wrong with doing it. It could be fun. You could write a backstory and pretend you don't know about it, or you could be like, here's some elements I would like into it, and hand them to your DM and be like, do what you want with it. Or, you know, you might be like, here's some elements I absolutely don't want, and hand those to your DM, and you guys can kind of work together that way. And this way you can kind of like learn and discover together. This kind of works better if you and your DM know each other well and kind of know your play styles, so your DM can do it in a way that you're going to enjoy. If you're working with a DM you don't know very well, you might get what you get, you know. So buyer beware. But yeah, it's a cliche. It's kind of a cliche thing, and it happens. But the cliches are there for reasons. Like they're fun a lot of times.
Especially if you haven't done it before.
Yeah,
you just have to not, you know, do the lame version and be like, yeah, I don't feel like doing this. You know, I have amnesia.
I don't remember a thing. It's very convenient.
Yeah, because if you're gonna do that kind of stuff, then I'm gonna mess with you. Okay, well, clearly you have a backstory. I'm gonna write stuff, and it's gonna interfere with stuff. Oh, you've got kids. Did you want them?
No, I don't.
You have an enemy.
You have an enemy. You've actually married multiple times.
Can I trade these kids for an enemy? I don't know if you guys are following Ingest Quest. Is that what you guys are calling the show?
Yeah. Spelljammer 5e and Just Quest.
Yeah, that goes on every Friday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. You guys are on like session 4 or 5 now.
Wasn't 6 yesterday?
I think it's 6th. Yeah.
Or 6?
I think we just completed
6 was
6th.
yesterday.
It's tripping me up. Yeah, we're halfway through, pretty much. I think we're doing 12 or 13 sessions. Doug will know. He's in.
Doug is in the know.
I know it's at least a dozen. Maybe no more. Yeah, we're halfway through. It's been really interesting.
So I've caught the first 3, and then I've kind of gotten sidetracked with other things.
The sushi bar one was the strangest out of everything, and some of they've been pretty strange.
Even more than the underwater with the Aldani and the
deity. The lobster people and
which number was the sushi?
I think the 5th one was the sushi.
Okay, so not this past one, the one before.
Yeah, the one before that. And that was crazy.
Wasn't it a Kotoa sushi chef or something?
Yeah, it was really trippy the way he had it all go together.
Nerd Dog says it's a full 12-course meal.
Nice.
But it started off strong with filet mignon, and
that's
it was
that's
good.
still
classic.
That is awesome to me. That's been the best pun so far of what I've seen.
Yeah, my favorite thing is how he incorporates food elements, incorporates the characters that are playing in it, as well as like his own vision on what's going on. So it's been a wild ride.
I am fully expecting you guys to be sacrificed in a volcano at some time in the near future.
Yeah, we have been smeared with cocoa.
as much as,
which they also smear all their meats and foods with, so I'm kind of wondering.
As much as as a general player or a GM, I'm never itching for party death. The fact that before session 1 there was a contract that was quote unquote signed by the members that if they die, Kienata's character gets to eat them or cook them up and eat them.
Yes.
I want to see it happen. I want to see that contract fulfilled. I want to see how it goes.
It's gonna be interesting if that happens. That's for sure. Can I get a reincarnation, please? I'd go for non-bug right now. That's for sure.
You're like,
I look too tasty.
So Gas Station Sushi was episode 5.
Yeah.
By the way, do not Google that. Do not Google that. So Scott Poe question: my world is Feywilde heavy, and I want my players to find a sleep enchanted town, minus the fearful innkeeper and wife. What would be some good mini encounters for them to overcome the curse?
Oh, we got the Onibara.
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah. So just become a patron at the $10 level, and your whole adventure is written for you. Come next month.
There's a solid adventure, in that packet that would be cause for why people are put to sleep. And I'm digging what the Onibara are.
Hey, what's it mean when Nub Nub brings out the wolf pack?
Oh, he totally murdered something with a whole bunch of conjured wolves.
Oh.
Yeah, it was pretty scary. I was glad he was on our side.
Yeah. Did he then turn into a wolf himself after he conjured?
No.
That'd been cool.
I love that he's that you guys are using the hit dice to heroics.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
When he changed into the Ewok head with the octopus tentacles, that was it. That was hysterical.
That was really good.
We're like, that wasn't supposed to happen when we made this product.
You're using it in ways we never imagined.
There is nothing wrong with using it that way. That was hysterical.
All right, we know what kind of porn Ted likes now.
Oh, dear Lord, stop it.
Yeah, it was quite strange.
Just because
it was really funny.
Just because he latched himself to Kienata.
It does seem like you guys have a lot of fun in that game, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is really enjoyable. The 2 hours pass really fast.
But yeah, some ideas for some encounters. Well, part of it would be the discovery of figuring out why why the town is all asleep.
And is it an ongoing enchantment, or has it been cast and then it's like more like a curse where you can walk around in the town and you're fine, or do they get drowsy if they go too far from the inn and they have to kind of investigate and discover maybe there's something in the inn, maybe the innkeeper eats a particular herb or something that's keeping him awake, maybe he has a talisman that he and his wife have that protect them.
Yeah, you could take it in a lot of different directions.
Well, I have an idea now because Sir Sensen said something. I'm like, oh my god, this would be amazing. I think my players are going to get a mysterious invite to a casino from the Feywilde. Should be interesting to say the least. So now they're all asleep because their spirits, their souls, or maybe their dream selves have been captured by a bunch of Fey or other creatures, and they're using them for poker chips.
I like that.
Wow.
That's the end encounter, so you have to break up the cable. Or maybe you have to play in the game and win all the chips. That would be even cooler.
That would be face styled right there, yeah. Play in the game and win all the chips.
Or even devil style.
Oh, yeah, it would be.
So there you go. We came up with your BBEG concept. You can work that in there.
Casino Royale.
There you
go. So if you guys, are in any way, shape, or form a fan of Crate versus Crate, with our, smaller video playlist, we will not be doing video unboxing of those anymore, or at least, for the foreseeable future. Maybe once we go back to 10, we could go in that direction. But if you are interested in seeing what comes in the crates and what have you, I am doing articles on that over on the website, taking pictures, giving the links, giving my take and my opinions on the cool stuff. So if you want to go check that out, both the RPG Crate and Dungeon Crate review went up this past week. Links should be in the description down below. So if you're interested, go check it out.
Check it out. Be Hollow. How does the Feywilde overlap the Shadowfell? Are they polarities? They do not exist in the same space as the material plane. I don't think they touch because of the fact that they overlap the prime material plane. Like you could simultaneously exist in the prime, and kind of like if someone can look from the Feywilde, they can see into the prime and see you, and the same with the Shadowfell. But I don't think you could look from the Shadowfell into the Feywilde the same way.
Like you could create areas if you really wanted to that exist as both, and
that would be fun. Like
it would be like seriously dark, shadowy Fey that live there, and like you've got this area that is just. It's full of that kind of energy. It's wild and it's dark, and maybe people from both places like, oh, you don't go there.
No, I would say obviously as a GM you can do it any way you wanted to, but I would say I would use it as both the Feywilde and the Shadowfell converge heavily in one area of the prime material plane, and that's what allows them to all to coexist in these pockets. But then it would create these really crazy, creepy, dark Fey areas.
So, you could, if you wanted it as something that's close to the prime material, then, that could be deemed, oh, that's a cursed land, things don't grow there, or things, grow wrong there. Or you could have it where, oh, it's something that's dark and mysterious, but it is far removed from the prime material, and the only way to get to it is to go into the Shadowfell or into the Feywilde and then traverse to there. So, depending upon, what you want as your access, you could play around with that.
I just kind of envisioned the Shadowfell as like the Underdark of the Feywilde. So, but harder to get to then. Almost as if it is a separate plane, but you can traverse to it.
Okay. Well, Matt Colville, he uses the Underdark as another plane.
Yeah, so kind of like games, Prime Material and Underdark, but like Feywilde and Shadowfell.
Also, it's worth noting, too, we had a new writer come on staff on the website. this week, so I don't know how much Eli, also known as Elfbait, is going to be contributing over there. But his first article was really cool. He did an article about using mythic trolls and trolls like from Feywilde and different takes on the troll than the D&D take.
Yeah, I have
More
to read
mythological.
it. I have to read it still. But Eli did reach out and say, hey, I started writing. Please give me some feedback and constructive criticism. And sadly, I got homework to do before that. And part of that is this.
Yeah, so, we greatly appreciate that. And if anyone else is interested in writing over on the site, we're always looking for volunteers. The ultimate goal is to one day have it be a paid gig where we actually pay you for your articles. In the beginning, it won't be that much, unfortunately. But that is what we're working towards. We have a goal up on the Patreon for that. But if you want some place where you can put your stuff and people will see it, the Nerdarchy.com website is a great place to do that. You can reach out to us at nerdarchy@gmail.com, or you can just reach out directly to our Nerditor, which is NerditerDoug at nerdarchy.com, actually. But if you're interested, let us know, and we can. If you're creating stuff, we can put it on the website. If you're an artist and you want a place to maybe showcase some of your art, you could also talk to us about letting us use your art, and we will link back to you. Or if you just wanted to do an article on your own stuff, you could also do that as well. We're more than happy to help you guys get the word out about what you're doing. And, the website gets a decent amount of traffic a month. We're doing like 60 to 70,000 views monthly. So I think at visitors, it translates to roughly half that number. So I'm really excited about the things that are going on over there. And I've even returned to writing on the website, sort of.
I'm not writing regularly. I'm writing pseudo-regularly as, some things come up. So... I've got a handful of articles. A couple of them went up this week.
Yeah, so what I'm doing on all of our videos except for the Critical Role video, I'm taking them and putting them up over on the website and maybe adding some additional thoughts to those. So, check it out. Or don't.
Or don't.
Or don't.
Or just don't.
Reading. Or just go watch more videos. Be Hollow, you guys are great. We're so-so. But thank you. We appreciate it. We've got Origins coming up in the near future. I belatedly put in my press stuff. We'll see. I kept having to remember if did I tell my wife about Origins or not? I might have been dragging my feet on that one, to be honest. It's Father's Day weekend, and wives get weird about that, and kids get weird. They definitely gave me a hard time last time.
You just hang out the week before and after.
Well, that's, I agree.
That's practical.
They don't always see it that way.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't even like my dad.
Why do you guys want to hang out with me?
Yeah.
So
I asked my kids if they cared last year, and my son is like, well, it is like Father's Day.
Well, I mean, there's a couple different ways to look at it. It's like, well, it's Father's Day, so it means you should get to do the things that you want. And if this is something you want to do, then they shouldn't really complain.
But I know, Ted's family is all about these pseudo bullshit Hallmark holidays. That I would like to see them all burn in fiery pits of oblivion.
The holidays or the family?
No, the holidays. Ted's family's great, but I hate that stuff. I want, if I want to do something nice, I should do it because I want to do it, not because of some bullshit holiday. It's just made up to make some corporation richer.
Because they gotta make cards.
So is Dave 40-something or 14 and angsty?
You're not angsty when you're in your 40s. You're grumpy.
Oh, all right. He's turned to full grump.
Yeah, he just
Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn, Hallmark holidays.
It really it depends on the subject. To be honest with you, some things are just stupid.
So free RPG Day is also in that near future.
Yeah. See, now if you're gonna make up a holiday, that's a great holiday to make up.
Yeah, just start early, because by the time I got to any place, it was like, no, we're out of stuff. I'm like, well, it's more like free RPG morning then, wasn't it, buddy? Yeah, I'm still a little annoyed by it.
Who's dialing up their grub now?
And Nate hasn't even hit the 40 yet.
I know.
Oh.
He's like, some of us like to sleep in on our free RPG day.
Yeah, I stayed up working the night before. I was a bit busy. It wasn't even noon.
Yeah, when I'm doing that kind of stuff, I'm like, okay, what time do you open? I will be there 10 minutes before. Like,
yeah, that's what's going to happen.
because like there's times like if you're looking for something specific, and if you look at the website, like it tells you, okay, depending upon what level, a comic book or gaming shop is going to go in, it tells you how many things are going to be in there, and some of them are like, there might be 2, there might be 1, there might be 4. And if somebody's there before you, it's possible that all that stuff is cleared out. Depending upon how lenient the shopkeepers are about how many things you're allowed to take. Because I've seen some where it's like, oh yeah, somebody walks up, I'll take 1 of everything, and they walk away. Other times, like, you're allowed 2 things. So,
Ted would take.
Freginator says 1369. We need Grumpy Nate shirts now. Now I just want to get Grumpy Cat and superimpose, like, do the face swap with your Grumpy Cat.
all right.
And I'm not sure which one should be the shirt either.
Artist out there, somebody superimpose Nate's face with
there's
a
an
Grumpy
app
Cat.
that does that. We could probably just do that with technology. We don't even need art for that anyway. So that would be super cool. Speaking of art, we've also been working with an artist, so we're actually going to start adding more art to the stuff we do as well, more unique art. We're going to use a combination of stock art and one of the new artists we found to do some of this other stuff, as well as, obviously we still have the Kickstarter coming up too, which is in the works.
Yes.
So if you've actually purchased some of our digital products, we'll make announcements once the content has been updated. But we are adding art to some of our existing products, looking to put more art in them. As Dave says, we do have that Kickstarter coming up. We're still, compiling pieces, getting our ducks in a row, so to speak.
Yes. Which, just look for it within the next 3 months. Absolutely.
It's a good timetable. I like that timetable.
Yeah, within the next 3 to 6 months, we were definitely doing this thing.
5 years, sometime in the next 5 years.
10 years have passed.
Well, how long did Matt Colville talk about his Kickstarter for?
I'm the wrong
you know
person to
what?
ask.
You know what? We have to figure out, and we have to talk about our Kickstarter for like 2 years longer than he talked about his, because I think he talked about his for a long time, and it seemed to work out really well for him.
Just follow the model.
Right. If we just double how long he talked about his Kickstarter for, then we should be able to do 4 million, right? Isn't that how that works?
I think we're going to need some cool minis.
I think
to go along with this plan.
You're looking at what is it? A logical fallacy? Because we're not Matt Colville.
Oh, yeah.
He's
got really good hair. A little jealous.
I think there's more components to that, but if that's what makes you happy in the morning.
I think it's the hair. He doesn't have Adam Cobell hair, but he's got good hair.
I think it's about time. Got any more questions?
I'm not seeing any.
Fraginator, the fact that I have no clue what you are wanting kicked is driving me bonkers.
Yeah. Well, just stick in your brain.
With that, I will shout out here, a big thank you to Fraginator, who not only did an awesome order on our web store, but he shared a picture and I put it up on social media. I can't guarantee this for everybody, but he says that from the time he placed his order to when it arrived at his door was 72 hours.
Yeah,
Wow.
They're really good over there at Spreadshirt. It is print on demand, but it is crazy. Even Ryan had commented on this before, how fast that they get the product printed and out the door is pretty good.
So he was quite happy with it. I shared it out to Instagram and Twitter and what have you. So
nice. And we're starting to move that Mike Gould exclusive merchandise over there too. He's done some. Mike Gould has done a couple of designs for us, like I metagame as a bonus action, I saw one of those just went out the door the other day.
Oh, great.
Nice.
So, which is really cool. Maybe we can finagle some more cool designs from maybe an out of the box design might be cool.
Yeah.
Maybe like a box with eyes on it or something, and monsters sneaking out.
Well,
of
he's got
it.
like the D20 with the eye coming out of it. I think that's a cool.
Maybe have that sneaking out of a box or something. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But it is that time. We got a couple more videos to shoot. We got to get some lunch. I'm a fat guy. I like to eat. And guys, until next time,
Stay nerdy.